Hello everybody, and welcome to another video of Green Square Talks Battlebots. Co-hosting here today, Civilian Arc is right here, and then possibly coming later in this video, Porinog might make an appearance. We might see appearances, Oblivion as well, but I don't think he's planning on showing up tonight, who is one of the new co-hosts I'll be hoping to have on the podcast a few times for this upcoming season. And by the
I
way,
got
probably later in the week, I'm planning on making an announcement of our next 2021 podcast. The first 2021 podcast, I'll be bringing in co-hosts for it. Yeah, I plan to make probably a couple minute long announcement video of it that'll probably come out later in the week. But yeah, how's it going, Civilian, on the other end?
I've kind of had a mixed bag of the day so far. I can't go to school this week, but at the same time, my father and stepmother have COVID, which is kind of sad.
Yeah, I hope they get better soon. And
Yeah,
I also say that to every one of the viewers out there who potentially has a family member suffering with COVID and stuff. Hope they all get better soon. And yeah. Same thing with a few of my friends down here who recently have been exposed to. So, all right. All right, so then, yeah, in this podcast here, we'll be discussing the next two fight cards of my fantasy tournament done through Instagram. And so be sure to follow me on Instagram in the green square. And let's go ahead and begin this, where we got the first fight card up there, as you can see. So, yeah, we got some pretty interesting battles in that one, including a main event that even though Stinger is from the 2015-2016 season, I think this would still be a great fight even like present day, despite the major opponent they are going up against. And yeah, we'll get
wait,
to
I
the
just I just realized this is a main event between your favorite BattleBot ever and my favorite BattleBot ever.
true that. Uh, so yeah, but then we got a bunch of other great ones to discuss first. So let's go ahead and get to it. Where we're gonna lead off with a battle between two BattleBots 2020 competitors as well as 2021. And before I talk about those, I'll let you know that I don't plan on updating the robots for on here with their 2021 designs until probably at least midway into the season, because we've seen like what Witch Doctor and Deadlift can do
Yeah,
from the 2020 season, but unless if you saw BattleBots live, we haven't seen them in BattleBots 2021 yet. Like, I haven't seen that. I didn't attend it live. I'm pretty sure Civilian didn't attend it live either
nope.
for this season. So at least as of now, I'm leaving them at their 2020 designs and so on. So yeah, first matchup, Witch Doctor and Deadlift here. So I'm first gonna straight off say this. This one kind of brings me Witch Doctor and Whiplash vibes, primarily because I feel like this fight would go kind of similar to that one. So if you remember Witch Doctor and Whiplash, like Whiplash was coming in there trying to use the lifter and stuff, but because of the reach on Witch Doctor's vertical spinner, they were able to get a big hit on Whiplash and force them back and stuff, which helped them get one of the wedgelets and get a wheel before their reliability issues that they had that season started popping up and they lost their vertical spinner for the rest of the fight. I think this would be a similar case if we saw these two fight. So I'll hear from my co-host here, Civilian. What do you got?
Yeah, I don't see this being anything. I can understand what you're saying with it being kind of like Witch Doctor versus Whiplash, but I don't think Deadlift will put up much of a fight here because I mean, yeah, Deadlift beat Jackpot, but Jackpot, in all seriousness, at least with the version of Jackpot they used in the Deadlift fight, had not a lot of ground game in that and mainly relied on the reach of their weapon.
Oh yeah.
Uh, and Witch Doctor, it doesn't have it. Its wedges aren't steep enough to get like under anything, but it still can like hit something very more solidly than a bot like Jackpot could. So I don't see this going in Deadlift's favor. I'm sorry, Corey. I know you love Deadlift if you're watching, but I don't think that's a chance.
Yeah, I think Deadlift's big hope here is outdriving Witch Doctor and I personally feel like Mike Lately is the better
Yeah.
driver. Like Deadlift does have a good driver. Like don't get me wrong about that. I'm
Oh
not
yeah.
saying Deadlift has a bad driver or anything like that, because Deadlift beat Jackpot, nearly won the fight with Ghost Raptor and Gruff as well before running into reliability issues that costed them those fights. So yeah, I do think
Yeah,
they
like
are
we're
gonna. I do think they are gonna put up put up quite a fight on Witch Doctor, as I don't think this is gonna be like a crazy dominated victory, like how Witch Doctor
yeah.
dominated Sub Zero in their bounties, and Slamo kind of as well. Oh, but well, I'm gonna
Yeah.
say I feel like Deadlift would put up a similar fight that Slammo did in there, because
Yeah,
like
they'd probably
yeah,
have
because
some kind of configuration that
Slammo got
Slamo
a
used.
yes, Slammo got a few good moments in there against Witch Doctor, and I feel like Deadlift would
Yeah.
probably do something similar, but I th-
Yeah.
I feel like I'd pick Witch Doctor for this one. I think Witch Doctor will overall. I think that vertical spinner will be too much for Deadlift.
Yeah, we haven't seen a lot of Deadlift take on these any like heavy hitting bots. We like we it's the best opponent it ever fought was Mammoth, and that bot does not have a destructive weapon. So like, I don't, I don't think, I just don't think we have enough of Deadlift to like say, oh, can it take on this powerful spinner when it can't even survive like Grupp and Ghost Raptor? So I have to say Witch Doctor.
Yeah, so I'm assuming that's your vote.
Yeah,
Yep, that'll be my vote as well. So we're both rolling Witch Doctor for this one. All right, next up, and of course Pori had to be gone for this one because his favorite robot's up here. We have
yeah.
Ribot, who is taking on Chronos.
Also, I think Chronos is one of Pori's favorite bots. Also, I think.
Yeah, Chronos is definitely up there because I know Pori likes the design of Chronos, which I do as
Yeah.
well because ring spinners are pretty difficult to make, and
Yeah.
Chronos put together a pretty good ring spinner. It might not have performed well in 2020, but it did very well in 2019, and it's always fun to see a great robot like that at Battlebots.
Hmm.
Now, since Ribot is a multiple configurations robot, like I feel like Ribot's more likely to go with the vertical spinner, and then I know Pori's mentioned they have a plow for similar like what they use against Valkyrie. I feel like they'd go with that for this. I could also see them going with the horizontal spinner, even though I don't think they would need like the extra maneuverability involved. I would probably say they'd go with the vert, but I'm not 100% sure.
I'd
Uh,
honestly say horizontal just because they probably want to have another send it moment, and they probably know they're going to win that fight because they. It's clear that when they sent it against Axolotl, they already knew they won the fight, and I think they. If Ribot had to fight Kronos, I think they'd know that Kronos would lose this fight just because of Kronos' entire season in 2020.
oh yeah, like Ribot went with the horizontal spinner for I believe both the maneuverability and one of the preparations Axolotl made them a little bit vulnerable to the undercutter. But then
Yeah.
Riba did that send it moment, and as well, along with the fact that it was fun, and the other reason being that the producers actually told them that if the fight wasn't entertaining enough, that they would that would have been an untelevised fight,
Oh yeah, that's right.
so they agreed that no matter who wins this fight, the other one just continues hitting the other after the other
Yeah,
one's dead, which is why
and,
Ribot sent it like that, and
and
even
almost
though it
got Udad.
yeah, almost got UDA'd. Well, part of it did get UDA'd. It's just the main
Yeah.
components of the bot did not.
Yep.
But yeah, I personally would say Ribot would go with the vert for this situation, but like Civilian said, it's possible they could go with the horizontal spinner for this one. I think we would still get a pretty entertaining showing from Ribot either way. And
Yeah. Because I feel like this would be kind of like the Ribot Axolotl situation, where like if this fight isn't entertaining enough, that wouldn't make TV, so Ribot would go with the horizontal spinner again for it to be extremely entertaining.
yeah, I could also see vert too, because if they go weapon on weapon or something like that, if Kronos' weapons at full
Kronos is
speed,
getting
they would go flying. And
yeah.
that's what, similar to when Copperhead and Chronos went weapon on weapon, and Chronos went flying and stuff. So But yeah, no matter which weapon Ribot goes with in this one, and like Chronos' spinner was not exactly the most reliable in 2020, as it lasted one hit in their first few fights, and then the bounties it lasted a few shots, but then they eventually lost power to their weapon and I think their drive as well. So
Yeah.
I feel like this would probably be a similar situation to the Copperhead fight, where Ribbo will get a few we'll see a few weapon on weapon shots, and then I feel like Kronos' spinner might die following that. That assuming it's not like yeah like assuming it's not more reliable than it has been in some of those fights, and
Yeah.
yeah, I'd probably say this is probably Ribot's fight to win. And
Oh
I'm
yeah,
betting when I put
definitely.
the polls up on Instagram, this is probably gonna be one of the more dominant victories and
Yeah, I'd
stuff.
say this is
Nothing
probably.
against Chronos, by the way, because I love Chronos and I really want to see Chronos do well and stuff. And
Yeah,
yeah,
I'd say this is probably going to be the second most one-sided. The most one-sided one on the polls, in my opinion, would be one we haven't gotten to yet, but I'll say which one it is when we get to it.
I think I know which one you're gonna mention, and
Yeah.
but yeah, we'll get to that one. All right, so now we can vote on this one, where I would pick Ribot for this one.
Yeah, I'm picking the frog for this one. But you know what I think we should do? I think
What?
since Pori decided not to join us right now, I think we both should just vote Kronos just to screw with him.
No, we'll tell him we voted Chronos when he joins.
Yeah, all right, I'll vote Ribot then.
Yeah, like in all seriousness, we'll vote Ribot, but when Pori
Yeah,
comes in, we'll joke with him that we voted Chronos
yeah.
for it.
Hmm.
All right, next up, we got the Robot Wars champion Carbide up against a legendary vertical spinner in Nightmare. All right, so this
This
one's
would be,
probably gonna be one-sided too, as
but it'll be beautiful. It'll be
oh yeah,
beautifully
definitely.
one-sided.
Like in all honesty, I would love to see a weapon-on-weapon exchange between these two, even though I think Carbide's probably got the better shot at winning that exchange. And
Yeah. I think Nightmare's best hope would try and have the blade spin downward, try and bust up the upper armor of Carbide and try and get into its internals that way. Try and snip it up. But
yeah,
I
maybe try to
think,
get to the weapon belt and stuff. Um,
yeah, yeah, that would be Nightmare's best shot at winning. But I don't see it winning this.
yeah, kind of like what I see here is like Carbide, like Dave Molds, who's a great driver for Carbide. Also, Jim Smentowski's a good driver too. What I kind
Yeah,
of see is I bet we'll see a weapon-on-weapon exchange, and I bet Nightmare will get hit on the legs or the wheels and will have a wheel
see a leg
sliced
come off.
off. And
I need to see a leg come off of
oh yeah,
Nightmare.
like what we've seen in Robot Arena too.
Yeah,
All right. And yeah, I don't think there's too much more needing to be said here, so should we vote on this
yeah.
battle?
This if this fight happened in this fight card, it would probably be like. I actually say this would probably be second best fight because Stinger versus the main event would probably be the best fight of the night.
I'd rank it at number 3 with one of the other fights a little ways down as number 2. And
Okay. All right.
all right, should we vote on this one then?
Yeah.
All right, yeah, I'll start it off by voting Carbide.
Yeah, I'm voting Carbide.
All right, 3 unanimous choices here. Let's get down to the next one, where we got Clusterbot Crackers and Smash from Robot Wars Series 9 and 10, who's taking on Sawblaze, one of the scariest robots in Battlebots history, and yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, Sawblaze. I don't think we've seen Sawblaze go up against a Clusterbot so far. Or
I can't believe we never seen it fight a Clusterbot before. That's so weird.
like we've seen it in Rumbles before. Like
Yeah.
we saw, yeah, the only one that I can think of, which would be Road Rash, Overhaul, and Sawblaze, which it dominated
That
that one.
I think that was the only Rumble it was ever in.
Yeah, that's the only one I can think of. That's probably the only one because Sawblaze was a pro following that. Well, it was a
Yeah.
pro back then too, which that should have beaten Razorback that season. Uh,
Yeah. I
but
can't
yeah,
believe Razorback got seeded so high. Like they gave him the 15th seed. I'm like, what the fuck? You seeded
yeah,
it. Oh, you seeded it over Brutus and Lockjaw and other bots. I probably forgot, but well, you seeded them over those two bots. What the hell?
yeah. How I personally think this is going to go is Sawblaze is going to go after the drum spinner first, because I feel like Sawblaze, if it was going to attack one of the Crackers in Smash, and then have the other one come at it from behind, it'd prefer to have the armored wedge attack it from behind rather than the drum spinner. And Sawblaze
Yeah.
has proven they're not afraid to go weapon on weapon with their opponents compared to in 2016. And I feel like they'd one or two shot each of those two robots.
Yeah.
As because we've seen the devastating power in that hammer saw. Yes, that thing sliced right through the top of Whiplash in their opening
Mhm.
round bout. And I feel like something like that would probably happen here.
Yeah.
All right, anything else to say on this fight, Civilian?
This is in my opinion, would be the most one-sided fight of the fight card.
Yeah, I would agree with that. All right, should we
Yeah.
vote on this one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd vote Sawblaze for this one. I think Sawblaze will win this one in probably a minute.
Yeah, I'm going Sawblaze too. I'd say knockout 55 seconds tops.
All right. So now on to the next fight where we got Perfect Phoenix and Malice, two Battlebots 2020 competitors. I feel like Perfect Phoenix would probably like just knowing what Malice told me their strategy would be when they took on Son of Waiachi in one of my previous fantasy tournaments. I think Malice would probably try to box rush Perfect Phoenix, keep them from getting their blade up to full speed.
Yeah.
And I feel like they'd probably go with Big Red in terms of this season. Otherwise, I could see them using their new weapon they were looking to bring to this season, which is kind of like a vertical spinner, but in the horizontal direction is kind of how I would kind of describe it. And
Yeah.
yeah, feel free to put something in the comments, Bunny, if you see this and think that description is incorrect, and I apologize for that. But but yeah, check out Malice's Instagram if you want to see a picture of that thing, as yeah, it might take a little bit to scroll down to one of those posts, but you'll definitely find some great info on that from them. But then I feel like I feel like Perfect Phoenix would probably go with the red bar, which I believe is longer than the blue bar and stuff, just because they'd probably want to hit Malice right as they charge right at them and stuff. And
Yeah.
this one would kind of be interesting. I think this one would be the closest one so far, because I'm very curious what would happen.
Yeah.
I'm very curious what would happen if these two went weapon on weapon with each other. Because, like, would they each just get sent back? Would one of them get flipped? Would one of them win the exchange? I don't know, personally. And
Yeah, I'd say this is like the third closest fight on this fight card. And overall.
yeah, second place for me, which I think we can agree with first place is. And
Yeah.
we'll be getting to that in a moment. But
Yeah.
But yeah, this is
Yeah.
definitely a tricky one to call because both drivers are great. Tyler and Dave are both terrific drivers, and they both have pretty powerful horizontal spinners here.
Yeah, I feel
I
like here's what I feel will go down. I feel like one of these, if this fight ever happens, one of the bots will do like a good amount of damage to the other, and then both weapons will die, and then it will be resulted in a driving pushing match.
yeah, and I yeah, but if that did happen, I'm not really sure who would win the pushing battle. Because on one hand, Perfect Phoenix has a wedge up front, and
But Malice has the push
wedges are
power.
great for push power. But then Malice, despite not having the ground game advantage, they were still able to push around Shatter, proving that Malice is a
Bullshit
really
decision.
powerful drivetrain too. So And that could be something that could come into play if these two did end up getting into a pushing battle.
Yeah.
Yeah. In my personal opinion, I feel like if these two did go weapon on weapon, I personally think Perfect Phoenix might have the edge in that one, just because both they have a vertical bar spinner, and drum spinners are not exactly the biggest fan of stuff like that. And Perfect Phoenix has a
True.
wedge up front too, and that could also give them the edge. But then the other thing to consider here is between the two of them, I feel like Malice is the more reliable robot between the two of them. Like, yes, Malice has lost their weapon multiple times because of losing their weapon belt, but in terms of like driving, like Malice seems to be the more reliable robot in terms of stuff like that, which I think could be something
Yeah.
to consider if these two ever did fight. And this one would definitely be a really close call and stuff.
Yeah.
All right, you got anything else, civilian, or should we vote on this one?
I'm ready to vote.
Yeah, same here.
I'm gonna throw my hand in for Malice.
Yeah, I'm also gonna vote Malice too, as I think this will be a very close one, but I think Malice would come out with the victory on that one. But I would not be surprised if I was wrong about something like that, as that truly would be a really good fight. I might as well
Yeah.
show off a few parts I acquired from Malice within the past few months. So from last season and stuff. This wasn't used in one of their fights from 2020, but it clearly was at Battlebots because there's you probably can't tell, but there's quite a few dents in the front of it, and then it's signed by the entire Malice team. Whereas you could probably see a few of the signatures, and
I'm getting out all the fucking parts to there.
then here's the better one. This is actually from this upcoming season too, which is super sweet. And Malice told me that it also wasn't used in any fights. Like, it's a similar situation to the last part, but it's still really rad to have a part like that. And yeah, it
Yeah.
was definitely worth supporting Malice and getting that part too. And yeah, Malice is a great team. Bunny is the queen of swag, and yeah. Like I said in the 2021 competitors introduction video, if you're looking to start a swag collection, Malice is a great place to start. Alright, enough with that. Let's go ahead and get to the next battle, where we got a Robot Wars and Battlebots face-off. We got Andron 4000 and Smee. I probably didn't include enough E's, but I don't care.
But
So,
they put the last E of Smee in the ratings for video games, rated E for everyone.
of course they did. uh, and yeah, that's awesome. But alright, so then to this. So, this one This one is a really hard one to judge, in my
Yeah.
opinion, because I feel like Andron would have a hard time getting a bite on Smee with their Crusher, which I believe has similar tech to it that Quantum has. As yeah, it's a hydraulics powered Crusher, and then we got Smee on the other hand, where I feel like they'll be able to deliver some big hits with those undercutters, but they didn't do too much damage. Well, I shouldn't exactly say that because they did take apart one of the tires on Sharko in that battle, and they also split some of the piping on Mammoth, which helped them win that
Yeah.
fight. But they didn't exactly do the most damage, in my opinion. And but yeah, let's take it to you, civilian. What do you got on this
Yeah.
battle?
In my opinion, this fight on the fight card would not only be the closest fight of the fight card, but also the most boring fight on the fight card, because I do not see a way either bot could take real advantage of each other, so it's kind of just going to be a lame push off, and it's kind of hard to push Smee around unless you get under, so unless Andron 4000 can get under Smee, not gonna be able to push it that much. And Smee's
Yeah.
weapons might take a chunk out of Andron 4000 every now and then, but I don't see it being that destructive.
Yeah, kind of how I see this fight going is Andrew's going to try to outdrive Smee, maybe even try to get underneath them, but Smee's front is proven to be pretty low to the ground overall. Like
Yeah,
P1 had a little bit of trouble getting underneath Smee at times. Pain Train and Sharko were both unable to get underneath Smee, and then we know Kraken and Mammoth both had quite a bit of trouble with getting underneath Smee, but both of them eventually managed to get a relatively good shot at that, and
yeah.
eventually did get a moment. But either way, though, Smee has proven that they're a difficult robot to get underneath from their opponents, and yeah, I think Andro would definitely have that case unless if they could get to the backside of Smee, which is a very difficult task to do with how long Smee is, and
Mm.
both in name and in terms of the robot. So yeah, and I feel like Smee is just gonna get a ton of tiny shots in with those undercutters. And one other concern I could have is could we see the possibility that Andron 4000 might lose power and stuff like that, either to part or all of their drive? Because, like, for example, in the concussion and nuts rumble, they they took a hit from the floor flipper right as they were biting down on concussion, and they lost power. Torin, when they fought Torin, no problems with stuff like that, even with all the big damage they took. Yeah, and then with Nuts, I'm not sure exactly if they lost power after getting flipped by the floor flipper, or just the fact that they lost all their hydraulics fluid after the hit they took from Nuts. And then with Iron Awe, then similar situation where they lost power on one side, and could something like that potentially happen here? So yeah. All right, are you ready to vote on this, civilian?
Yeah.
Yeah, same
I'm
here.
gonna I'm gonna go for Andron 4000. I think it can get a few bites in, so I don't. I think Andron 4000. Here's the thing. I think it has the perfect width between the forks to get under between like the little tiny openings between each wedge of Smee. So I think it has like the perfect shape for to get under Smee. So I'm gonna go Andron.
Yeah, we're gonna have our first one-to-one tie here. I think I'm gonna vote Smee by a judge's decision here. I think Andron will just have too much trouble getting underneath Smee and stuff, and we'll either get an opportunity late in this one, and or not at all, or something like that. But yeah, I'm gonna pick Smee for this one. If Pori shows up later in this podcast, we'll have him break the tie or something like that. So.
Yeah.
Alright, next up, we got another Battlebots and Robot Wars face-off. We got Firestorm, a big flipper from classic Robot Wars, who's taking on Gemini, which there was a Gemini in Robot Wars too. Can't deny that. And as well as
Oh
Gemini and
yeah.
Battlebots, so yeah. Alright, so yeah, I think this one would be a pretty interesting bout and so on at least at first between these two. So I think Gemini, who focused quite a bit on their weaponry for this season compared to the previous seasons, I think we'll see some nice hits from them early in this one compared to Firestorm's front hinged flipper. And yeah, let's hear from you, Civilian.
Yeah, this will also be a pretty close fight in my opinion. Just because while Firestorm has aged and we haven't seen a new version of Firestorm yet, Gemini has shown no real potential with its weapon at all. Like the only time we've ever seen Gemini actually have like a good performance was the Four Horsemen fight, and I guess I'll throw Sharkoprian in there because that was like a decent fight when Gemini had some decent driving moments, but that wasn't like a weapon doing anything. That was just their driving being semi decent in that fight. They still lost that fight, so I this and but Firestorm has age, so I don't know how to go about this one. It's a weird one.
Yeah, I would kind of agree with you on that one. As yeah, the fact that this is Firestorm, which we haven't seen at Robot Wars since Series 7, which was back in the 2000 early 2000s and stuff.
Yeah.
And I feel like we could potentially see Gemini slicing through Firestorm or something like that with their vertical spinners. Just the fact that they had better teeth on those weapons compared to previous seasons, and the fact that Robot Combat has evolved so much since Robot Wars Series 6, 7, and so on. So, all
Yeah.
right. Yeah, even though Gemini has proven to not have a lot of potential and stuff, I feel like this one would probably be a big one for them in terms of a victory because I feel like Gemini would have this one. All right, anything else, or should we vote on this?
We can vote.
All right, and then my vote will be Gemini for this one, as I've said. Like, yeah, I really do want to see Firestorm back for a future season of either
Yeah.
Battlebots or if Robot Wars returns, a future season of that. So yeah. Yeah, because I love Firestorm and stuff. It was fun watching Firestorm and Robot Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what do you got for your vote?
I'm actually gonna go Firestorm,
Ooh,
honestly,
solid
because
choice.
I just have seen nothing from Gemini yet to say that it can be a decent flip. Like Firestorm should, in theory, still be able to flip Gemini, because I'm pretty sure they're the same weight, basically. It'll just be not as Firestorm is, like thrown bots that are the same weight as it. So I should and Gemini is half the size of a regular bot, so it should be safe to say that Firestorm should be able to at least send Gemini a few feet up in the air.
Yeah, definitely. All right, now that we're through this fight, and if Bori joins, we'll have him break this tie too. We have the main event where we got civilian's favorite bot of all time. We got my favorite bot of all time. We got Stinger and Minotaur. Stinger, a robot whom a lot of are probably hoping we'll get to see back eventually, even
Stinger
though,
come back.
yeah, even though we'll see Matt Maxim in the 2021 season driving Cobalt and stuff,
Yeah.
and yeah, because I feel like Stinger would be a great spinner killer for for seasons like this where it's just a major spinner season and stuff. I think Stinger would be a great robot to take on a lot of those spinners. And they got a big spinner here in Minotaur. So yeah, this is the 2019 design from Minotaur where they had a very slow start to the season, but once they got the drum spinner going, that thing was like an absolute nightmare to take on. Like just as Endgame Shatter, Cobalt, and Hydra. As yeah, Minotaur definitely had a slow start against like Whiplash and Gigabyte, but they absolutely shredded those four apart once they figured out their drum spinner. And I'm sure Stinger would
Yeah.
probably go with the plow for a fight like
Oh yeah,
this.
it
And
definitely will.
yeah, just to deflect that spinner, because I think they would get shredded apart if they went with like the forks. So, what do you got in this fight, Civilian?
Yeah, this would definitely be an entertaining driving match. Very fun fight to see between both Minotaur and Stinger. I'd love to see some just throws into the screws by Stinger. I'd love to see some absolute beast of shots by Minotaur. That'd be a great fight if that ever happens. Also, Gigabyte team, if you're watching this, tell Matt Maxim I said hi.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, so this one will definitely be a driving match as well, as Matt Maxim and Daniel Freitas are both terrific drivers. And this is kind of one where I feel like it's going to come down to who can win the ground game, who can get the early shots first. Like, I
Yeah,
personally feel like Minotaur would definitely have the ground game advantage, but if Stinger can outdrive Minotaur with the fact that they have six-wheel drive, while Minotaur only has two-wheel drive here, if Stinger could maybe get to the sides or something like that, they could definitely control the fight. But if Minotaur starts getting underneath Stinger, starts landing some hits, they could potentially get to some of the wheels. And we've seen in several Stinger's fights that those wheels are very much vulnerable and stuff, and can very easily be removed if Stinger is not careful.
Yeah.
But yeah,
This will be a very fun one.
yeah, even
Uh,
with the fact that Stinger was a 2015-2016 robot compared to Minotaur, where they're they're returning once again for the 2021 season, this would be a great fight to have as like a modern day battle and stuff.
yeah,
Even with the fact that Stinger, we haven't seen Stinger since 2016, and this would be a very entertaining bout. I feel like this one will have multiple like changes of the tide and stuff. Like I think it'll be back and forth, and
yeah,
I think we'll get a very entertaining showing of these two if these two were to ever get in the battle box or something like that together. So
yeah,
yeah. Anything else on this one, or should we vote?
yeah. We can vote.
Yeah, I'm gonna predict Minotaur by a judge's decision here.
I'm actually gonna go for the upset and Stinger for this one, and here's why. And no, this isn't just favoritism. This is how I feel.
And that's not
So
why I voted
minute.
Minotaur too.
I don't. I know you have your reasons for
Yep.
Minotaur. Uh, I just feel that Matt Maxim can just take advantage of Minotaur's gyro whenever possible. Because taking if Stinger is able to get a lift when Minotaur's gyroing, that could be big, and Stinger can get some major control points in there. And plus, I think the area between the space between Minotaur's forks and Stinger's forks, I think Stinger has more area there. So I think if it's a battle between if both forks touch each other, I think Stinger can be able to just turn itself to the right angle to get under Minotaur first without having a head-on collision with the weapon. So I'm actually going to go Stinger for this one.
Yeah, solid reasoning. And yeah, you could definitely make up big arguments for why Stinger would win this, as well as I could make up arguments for why Minotaur would win this. This is one where it could go either way and would definitely come down to driving and stuff. So,
Yeah.
all right, let's go ahead and get on to the next fight card. And I do not have a planned release date for either of these fight cards on Instagram, as with college going on, keeping me busy and stuff, that really slows down my ability to get out fight cards like this and release them. So, yeah, I'm hoping to release this one as soon as possible, but we'll see what happens based off of my college schedule and stuff.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's go ahead and get on to the next one. All right. So yeah, I kind of don't see this one as entertaining as the last one, as kind of look at the main event wise, but we do still have some pretty decent ones in here, leading up to a
Green,
main
I
event where we got the third place robot from last season, as well as a three-time middleweight champion of no, not middleweight, heavyweight. Sorry, my bad.
yeah.
That was a brain fart right there, but three times heavyweight champion of classic Battlebots. So
Green, I just gotta ask, why is Rotator versus X backwards a bonus fight?
I don't know.
Like I
Yeah,
pro,
Razor
I
and Bale
probably
Spear would probably be the bonus fight of this bunch, but
actually I'd probably say PP3D versus Complete Control. In all honesty, because at least Razor has the hype behind it. PP3D and Complete Control don't got that much hype behind it.
that's true. All right, so yeah, let's go ahead and go into this first battle where we got the two-time
Every
champion
time.
of Robot Wars, Chaos 2, who's taking on the Hammer of Shatter. And yeah, I think this fight's gonna end in not too long, in my opinion here, as I feel like Shatter would probably go with the forks once again. And even if Chaos 2 wins the ground game, Shatter still could potentially land a big hit with that hammer and stuff, And we've already seen from Chaos 2 when it fought Razor that armor is pretty delicate, and Shatter's hammer is probably got a little more destructive power than at least a little more destructive power than Razor's Crusher, and I feel like Shatter's hammer would puncture Chaos 2's armor in not too long. But yeah, let's go ahead and hear from you, Civilian, before I say the other potential take on this fight.
Yeah, this is kind of a one-sided fight, unfortunately, especially since I fucking love Chaos 2. It's one of my favorite bots of all time, along the lines of Stinger and Rapid and stuff like that. But one of the things I want to see happen if Shatter wins is I want to see Shatter pierce the armor of Chaos 2 and then have time struggling to get the hammer out and almost lift Chaos 2 because I kind of like those moments when hammer bots pierce the bot and then they have trouble getting it out and they just lift their entire opponent with the hammer.
Similar to Quantum when it bit down on Blacksmith.
That's like Quantum or Razor.
Yeah. But yeah, the other situation I kind of see here is Chaos 2. I think the only way they'd be able to win against Shatter is if they can outdrive Adam Wrigley, which they definitely would have the
Yeah.
experience part under
Yeah,
their
they do
belt
have
for
the
this one,
experience
because
over
I think
Shatter.
they've been doing robot combat a lot longer than Adam Wrigley. But Adam Wrigley is also a great driver, and I feel like with those Omni wheels, that'll be a very difficult task for Chaos 2, but I think it'll be very possible for something like that to happen.
Yeah.
So yeah, anything else on this fight, or should we vote on it?
Yeah, we can vote.
Yeah, I'd vote Shatter for this one. I think Shatter will win it by a knockout within less than a minute.
Yeah, I'm going Shatter for this one too. I'm sorry, Chaos 2, I love you.
Oh yeah, I love Chaos 2 as well. All right, next up we got Whiplash and Electric Ray. So Whiplash was the runner-up of Battlebots last season. Electric Ray, they were in
Is
20.
undefeated
Yes.
is undefeated in 2019, baby.
Yep, one of the undefeated robots in 2019 with a 0-0 record.
Hell yeah.
Yep. But yeah, if I kind of gave it, yeah, if you've seen the podcast on Electric Ray's last appearance, I kind of explained this a little more in depth, kind of like explained it a little more in depth, kind of like kind of kind of like what I heard what happened was Electric Ray went into the test box and came out of it with damage beyond what they could repair before their first fight and had to drop out because of that. That was explained a little more in depth by myself, and I believe Poolreed got in on that one as little as well. But yeah, I wonder how this undefeated robot would do against Whiplash. What do you think, Civilian?
Uh, well, it depends on how Electric Ray is operating. If we're talking RA2 Electric Ray, then this shit's gonna be fun.
Oh
If we're
yeah,
talking if we're talking Electric Ray as in it's just gonna be a bad mod and no one likes it, Whiplash is gonna get.
yeah. Yeah, Whiplash. I feel like Whiplash would probably body Electric Ray, and I feel like Whiplash probably wouldn't need to remove the spinner and add extra armor weight for something like this. But of course, knowing Electric Ray did that much damage to itself, I feel like Whiplash
Yeah.
probably would remove the spinner and go with a similar configuration to what they used against Valkyrie. But
Yeah.
but yeah, I think Whiplash. I think this is just gonna be a similar situation to Valkyrie and Whiplash's two fights, where I think Whiplash will disable the weapons of Electric Ray and then just absolutely body them from there for the rest of the fight and stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah, I don't think there's much more to say unless if you disagree. You ready to vote on this one?
No, Whiplash is gonna fucking kill Electric Ray.
Yeah, that's kind of what I think too. I would probably say Whiplash, and I'm gonna say a knockout, but I'm gonna bet there's gonna be less than a minute left in it.
Yeah, well, that depends if Whiplash is using its like spinner or not. If
Yeah,
Whiplash is using its spinner, then this will be done in like 40 seconds tops. If Whiplash is not using its spinner, then this could go on for a straight 2 minutes.
yeah. All right, on to the next one. We got another one of Civilian's favorites, at least I think.
Hell
We got
yeah,
we got
yeah, it's
Copperhead, who's taking on Double Agent, a classic Battlebot. So Yeah, in my opinion, I think this is gonna be a similar one to Shatter and Chaos 2, as well as a similar result to Copperhead and P1 for the last season, because I think Copperhead will win the ground game, get a few big hits on Double Agent, and then it'll be over from there. So, yeah, what do you think, Civilian, on that one?
Why did you add Double Agent into this series?
I love Double Agent. Like personally, I had a big art for Double Agent back in classic Battlebots. Like it was so much fun to watch, even though it didn't win all its fights and stuff. And
Went 4-3.
yeah, like I love Double Agent. Like yeah, like I had to put Double Agent in and stuff because it was a fun robot to see.
Yeah. Considering this is one of the most destructive bots of all time, taking on a robot I've never heard of before, this will be done in 5 seconds.
Yeah, its Double Agent it had pretty good push power to it, but especially later in like especially in seasons past its rookie seasons, it had some reliability problems following that, which resulted in its downfall and stuff. And I feel like that's kind of what would end. I feel like before like the issues like that appear, I think Copperhead would just get a few big hits and end it right there. So
Yeah.
yeah, so all right, I'm assuming you're ready to vote and stuff.
Uh, yeah, I'm gonna go for Copperhead.
Yep, I'm going Copperhead as well. All right, next up, we got what I personally think will be the most boring fight of this fight card, but Civilian
Razor versus
disagrees.
Veilsphere. Razor versus Veilsphere would be cool. You get to see Razor chomping down on Veilsphere, try and crush that fucking weak ass top armor.
I feel like Razor
It'll.
would probably try to go for a wheel rather than
Oh
that,
yeah,
like
and
try to
those
sink
big
the
ass juicy wheels.
yeah. But yeah, I feel like this one would definitely be a big driving battle between the two robots. See who can outdrive the other, and I think that'd kind of be the determining factor of this one. Except for the fact that, as well, how well would Razor's Crusher do against like the front pads, the Bale Spear, the weapon and stuff? Because like Razor is definitely like a lot different compared to
Yeah.
classic BattleBots and classic Robot Wars that it participated in. Because in Robot Wars Series 2 through 7, like when Razor got that Crusher underneath an opponent,
Yeah,
like
you were
they
fucked.
literally yeah, like lots of robots were done after that one bite and stuff. Like they would just sink that crusher through their opponent and stuff, and lots of their opponents were done after something like that happened. Compared to like in Series 8, where their crusher really struggled to puncture through Killy Cranky, and Killy Cranky didn't exactly do the best those seasons. And
got fucking pitted along with them.
and Bale's Spear would kind of be in that case and stuff where I feel like Razor might have trouble puncturing through lots of their thicker armor. But if Razor could get a bite on the tires or something like that, that could very easily change things. So yeah, what do you get on this one, Civilian?
Uh, Hellspear's fucked.
Yeah, unless a Bale Spear can like keep the front towards them, because I do feel like Razor would have trouble puncturing that front armor there. But we also could, and if Bale Spirit gets a bunch of jabs in with that spike, even if they don't do that much damage, they might be able to win the judge's decision on something like that. So,
Also, I just realized the Killy Cranky team made Pussycat.
oh yeah, yeah, I forgot about that. But yeah, so
And they made
yeah,
Body Hammer. Fuck yeah.
yeah, they had several legends in that arena and stuff for the first Robot Wars Series 8 Rumble. Because yeah, we had John with Terahertz, then we had the Razor team as well, and then Killy Cranky brought Pussycat in. And the Nuts team, not as big of legends as the other three, but they had an adorable kit in
They made
previous
the
competitions in between and stuff.
Pussycat team made this fucking beast.
Oh yeah, definitely. And All right. So yeah, anything else to discuss on this one, or should we get to voting on it?
I just want to point out how we immediately switched topics from Razor and Balesphere to like the Pussycat team and shit.
Yeah. All right. Well, my vote's gonna be Razor for this one. I think Razor will win
Yeah,
this. I'm gonna go by judges. No, I'm not gonna say judge's decision. I'm actually gonna say a minute and a half long knockout.
yeah, that's fair. I'm gonna go Razor.
All right. So then next up, we got an interesting one here: PP3D and Complete Control. And I'm just gonna let Civilian Art talk about this one first.
Okay, so there. This is kind of a weird fight because PP3D isn't reliable that much. It has some trouble maneuvering. Like you could see in the even in the Cherub fight, it was having trouble driving. Like it wasn't driving correctly in that fight, and people argue that that might have been why Cherub lost, even though everyone disagrees with the decision. But but complete control cannot handle a spinner for the life of it. It has extreme trouble like fighting a spinner bot. So I don't know how this will go for either bot. I'd probably say that complete control might not be able to handle PP3D's weapon that much because that weapon is potent. PP3D's weapon is potent. I think it helped take out a fucking part of the wall of Robot Wars. So, yeah. What do you got, Green?
Yeah, this is kind of one that's a little difficult to call too. I think this one will end pretty quickly, but I'm not sure exactly in what direction. Because it's like what you said, Civilian. Like complete control has proven to be very vulnerable to spinner robots. Like takes a warhead fight for example, where the first hit Warhead got on complete control disabled one side of drive, and then a later shot that Warhead got, like the second or the third one, disabled the other side of drive. And well, Warhead definitely has the more powerful spinner between those two robots. PP3D could very well do the same thing, possibly. And so I kind of think this one will come down to the first hit and stuff. Because we've seen PP3D land a few shots before having like the drive issues that Civilian was talking about and so on. And I think that and yeah, I think that'll be the deciding factor in this one, like who can get in the better first hit and stuff, and who starts having drive and other reliability issues first between the two. So, yeah.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I think I'd probably vote PP3D for this one, but I wouldn't doubt Derek Young's complete control and stuff as yeah. You get the idea.
Yeah.
All right, anything else on this or should we vote on it?
We can vote.
All right. Yeah, you guys already know my vote is I would vote PP3D for this one.
Um, I was kind of split on it, but now that I think about it, I'm gonna go PP3D.
Oh yeah. All right. But yeah, no offense to Complete Control and stuff, or to Derek Young too, 'cause Derek Young's awesome, including he helped Pori out with one of his recent videos and stuff, which is rad.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and get on to another one where we got a legendary Robot Wars contender up against Battlebot Season 5.0 robot that was very good until it was proved to have a lot of potential towards winning a giant nut until they ran into Dissector and stuff and Final Destiny. So, in my opinion, I think this is the third or fourth fight that would end very quickly on this fight card. Because I think in my opinion, what would happen here is Behemoth will come in with their horizontal plow scoop, uh, their plow scoop that they have for horizontal spinners. And I think Behemoth will get a pretty quick flip on Final Destiny, which would be an instant ending to the fight since Final Destiny can't self-right. So, what do you got on this battle, Civilian?
Uh, question is the main question is Will Final Destiny's weapon get stuck by its wedge skirts? That's the main question today. And I don't think it'll get stuck as we said it would in the first fight. I forgot what the first fight was in your fantasy league. I think it was Bronco, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think Bronco as well.
But I do still believe Behemoth will get like an insta flip and win it all. So yeah,
Yeah. I don't think there's really much more to say about this one. Should we just vote? Unless if you have anything else.
not really. Let's vote for Gamma 9.
No, let's vote for Cherub.
Yeah,
All right, yeah, my vote's Behemoth.
yeah, Behemoth.
All right, next up, we got a fight that I don't think is as one-sided as a lot of people might think. I do think it is one-sided, but I think Axe Backwards would put up a big fight with this one and stuff, as I feel like Axe Backwards will go with the wedge they used against both Captain Shredderator and Lockjaw for this to kind of like get Rotator up in the air and hit him with the drum spinner and stuff. And I think something like that, Axe Backwards will put up a pretty big fight against Rotator. And yeah, I think Rotator would probably go with a similar configuration they used against, I'm gonna say Captain Shredderator, where they got horizontal spinner on one side, and then they got a back piece of armor and stuff. Because I don't think the wedgelets would help them out very much in a fight with Axe Backwards.
Yeah. It should be a decent fight, though. I think we're gonna see some more Kurt Durgin trash talk and Rotator fucking shit up again, so that'll be fun.
It's always fun watching Kurt trash talk and stuff. It's too bad we didn't get to see the behind the scenes. We didn't get to see any of the behind the scenes trash talk between Bunny and Kurt and stuff. Because yeah, we saw the stuff that was going on like right before the fight began and right at the end of the fight between those two. But then Bunny did mention to us, and one of the group chats we're in on Instagram that yeah, that there was some trash talk going on between those two in the pits that was pretty funny to
Yeah,
see and stuff. So yeah, I'm not sure what he would say with Rotator and stuff, but I imagine it would be pretty funny.
the question is, will Victor Soto fire back, or will he just let Kurt Durgin trash talk?
I feel like Victor would fire back and stuff. I feel like he's got the personality for something like that. Just knowing
Yeah,
how when they fought Sawblaze, he kind of played along with Jameson's craziness right when they were like pushing the button that they were ready to go and stuff. And but I'm not sure what
yeah,
Victor Soto exactly would do in a situation like this. But in my opinion, I think he would. I think he'd say something back just for fun and so on.
yeah.
All right, so yeah, I feel like Rotator would avenge. I feel like Axe Backwards might have the start of this fight, might get a good moment or two in there, but
Yeah,
I feel like Rotator's big targets are those wheels, similar to like what Captain Shredderator was doing, and I think Rotator might eventually be able to get to those, and that might be the end of the fight from there. So
yeah.
yeah, anything else on this battle, or should we vote on this?
We can vote.
Alright, so yeah, I'm picking Rotator for this one. I think Rotator will win this in a minute and a half to 2 minutes.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Rotator.
Perfect. Alright, time for the last one of this podcast. We got Black Dragon and Biohazard, which would be a battle the between third or fourth place from last season. I personally think third place, but I know Civilian thinks fourth place in his opinion too. And I'm sure other people agree or disagree with that with either of us. So
I should check the polls on my Instagram account to see what voted Tantrum or Black Dragon to be.
yeah,
Third. I know you voted for Black
of
Dragon.
course I voted Black Dragon. I feel like they should get third place, but that's my opinion and stuff. I know other people like you differ. And, and yeah, they're taking on three-time heavyweight champion and classic Battlebots Biohazard and their lifter. And yeah, I personally think out of the main event, at least in the second set of fights for each robot, I think this is probably the most one-sided of the bunch here, because I think, like I think, like yeah, we've seen
Uh,
through lots of like the we've seen like the fights with like Megabyte and Brutality that those wedge skirts are extremely vulnerable to spinners and stuff, and I think Black Dragon might be able to take advantage of those if they use their lowest to the ground configuration and use one of their vertical spinners. But what were you about to say, Civilian?
what I was about to say is one, Pori betrayed me by voting Black Dragon. I have to have
Yeah!
a, I have to have a word with him. Miles also betrayed me by voting Black Dragon.
Yeah! Go Miles. Also, hi
Tantrum
Miles.
Tantrum still won 10-7.
Yep. Maybe I'll need to do a poll on my account and stuff. And then maybe we'll see the opposite result.
Come on, man.
Those aren't the words I was expecting to hear from you, to be honest.
What did you expect to hear from me?
The fact that that fact that I have many Black Dragon members that follow me on Instagram.
Yeah, wait, hold the fuck on.
Yep, now he knows. But yeah, the
You
crazy thing is,
fucking.
is that when Black Dragon took on Bite Force in my fantasy
They
tournament and
rigged
two
green.
of my
They
fantasy tournaments, like even without like the many votes Black Dragon got from team members, like if I excluded all of those, Bite Force would have only won by 2 votes, believe it or not. And but yeah.
Team Black Dragon rigged Green's fantasy tournaments. They're gonna
No,
rig
they
this one
didn't. Like I
too.
allow other teams to vote and stuff for themselves, even if it's for
So,
themselves.
so if the Axolotl team just shows up on your Instagram stories and all of the Axolotl team votes for Axolotl to win, and Axolotl wins and
Winning
your
Axolotl versus
fantasy team.
Tombstone, which happened in the last one. I should see the
Wait,
results of that.
I know. I think I voted Axolotl on my main account just to fuck around.
That's why not, honestly. That's
I mean,
actually
I knew Tombstone was winning, so why not?
52-3.
Let's fucking go.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, Green, you get like 55 votes on your polls. What the fuck?
Yeah, that's why I should also do a Black Dragon and Tantrum poll. And he's got no response to that one.
I mean, my fans are my followers are unbiased, so they
Hey,
can they
most of my followers aren't biased as well.
you have an entire
I
BattleBots
wouldn't say
team.
entire Battlebots team, because I know there are other members that don't follow me.
You have like the main components. All you need is the fucking duck to follow you, and then you're golden.
Mono already follows me, as well as
Well,
Duck, the
See,
Battlebots team. They follow me too.
see exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah, Mono is the best mascot. Shout out to Mono.
Out to Biohazard needs to come back.
Yeah, Biohazard does need to come back. I'd love to see Biohazard back. I know
I
there was a rumor one season that Biohazard was planning on returning. I want to say it was before the 2018 season began, but I'm not completely sure on that one.
I think Carlo does want to return, but he just wants to have like a better time frame for when it will start, so he can know when exactly he should rebuild Biohazard and get it ready. And since
Yeah.
BattleBots is already confirmed to be renewed for 2022, I think this year would be perfect for Biohazard to come back. In all honesty, because he knows that there will be a season for 2022. It's already fucking confirmed. So I think we should see Biohazard this year
Yeah,
for
definitely.
2022.
All right, so yeah, back to this battle since we got sidetracked completely with that one. But
Oh, I vote Black Dragon.
Yeah, I'd probably vote Black Dragon too. I feel like we might see a lift or two from Biohazard, but I think the vertical spinner on Black Dragon will just be too much for Biohazard,
Yeah,
especially since we haven't really seen it since like the Battlebots Classic series, and then a few years after that too, before they got retired by Megabyte and Brutality.
yeah. Black Dragon isn't the strongest of spinners out there, but I'd still say he could at least be able to take out a Comedy Central bot.
Oh yeah. And then wait till we see
Even
some of the improvements Black Dragon made for this upcoming season too in action. So, yeah,
uh,
as I'm looking forward to that. All right, so yeah, I think we both voted for Black Dragon here, and so that'll close
mhm.
out this fight card too, and we'll be ready to close out this podcast. You got anything else, civilian?
uh, no.
All right, so yeah, this will probably close out this podcast.
Corey
So
never came back.
yeah,
What the
Pori
fuck?
never came back. We'll have to spam in his Discord how he didn't show up, and yeah,
Group chat.
yeah, group chat as well. So.
Check
Oh, I'm
group
guessing
chat
you
right
just put a
now.
message in there.
Yeah, check it.
All right, let's check it out on my phone here.
Oh no, on the Discord group chat I put it
Or no,
in.
I have Discord downloaded on my phone.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's what you did. Of course, you put that down.
Yeah, because Corey
Uh,
never came back.
yeah, he never came back, which is too bad. All right, so yeah, thank you for watching this video. Even if it ends up being months before I post these fight cards, which hopefully that won't happen. Be sure to vote in the polls for each of these fight cards, and be sure to tune in when I post a couple minute long video discussing the upcoming podcast, where I'm planning to get fans a little bit involved with this one, and you'll see what I'm talking about by that in that video. And I will hopefully see you for the next podcast.